So you're the chief diversity officer, and you're arguing you are certain discrimination is not happening at the State Department. Is that right? Is that what you're testifying? That's what you just said. Certain candidates could not be hired because. Right. So these are employees at the State Department saying, we can't hire someone because, and here's what the email lists, they have a disability, they're white men, they're straight white men, or they're not of the right religion.
The Biden State Department appointed a lead inclusion executive to prevent bias. Ted Cruz possessed a document proving unequal treatment occurred. She had never reviewed it. Cruz offered one sharp question regarding what she actually accomplishes around there. Subscribe, keep watching.
Mr. Chairman, Ambassador Abercrombie Winstanley. The Biden administration, I believe, is staffed by radicals. The State Department has consistently alienated our friends and appeased our enemies. You're empowered as the State Department's first standalone Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer. Your mandate is to promote a concept on the left called equity, which I think is nothing more than brazen discrimination. You were appointed in April 2021, and as you extensively testified this morning, you introduced fundamental changes to the State Department hiring practices in line with the mandate of equity to affirmatively and aggressively discriminate. A year after your appointment, in April 2022, the State Department released its, quote, equity action plan to integrate these so-called equity principles into, quote, all aspects of State Department foreign affairs. That very week, just days after you published the Equity Action Plan, and 1 year after you began your tenure, a senior State Department official broadly distributed what I consider to be a very troubling email. I have a copy of that email next to me. Let me read from a part of the email. The email says that hiring practices have developed inside the State Department so that, and I'll quote, that certain candidates could not be hired because they have a disability. They are white men. They are straight white men. They are not of the, quote, right religion. All of these are verbatim quotes from the email of a senior State Department official. My first question to you is, did you clear this guidance?
Thank you for the question, Senator. I've never seen that before.
You've never seen the email before?
I've never seen it.
So you didn't know it had been sent?
This is the first time I'm seeing it, sir.
Well, do you know that it is happening? That the State Department perceives, and this is, I believe, as a result of your work, that they have a mandate to discriminate against, as the email says, to discriminate against people with disabilities, to discriminate against white men, to discriminate against straight white men, and to discriminate against people that are not of the, quote, right religion. I'm not sure what that meant, but I suspect it meant that if someone is a Christian. I don't know that because that's not what the email says. Are you aware these practices are happening at the State Department?
Again, thank you for the question. I am definite and certain that they are not happening at the State Department. But again...
So do you believe the senior State Department official who sent this email was lying?
Senator, I can't comment on, I don't know who that's from. I don't know if I've never seen it before. So
you're the chief diversity officer, and you're arguing you are certain discrimination is not happening at the State Department. Is that right? Is that what you're testifying? That's what you just said.
I am saying that it is against the law, and we certainly are not overtly or on purpose breaking the law in the Department of State. Certainly, there are members of our organization who do discriminate, who do harass, who do bully, which is why we are trying to put in place programs to address it and to strengthen accountability for those who do indeed break the law.
So you didn't clear this guidance, and after it was sent, you're testifying now that you remained unaware of it, so no one showed it to you. You were in the State Department for a year. You were empowered in your position in an unprecedented way. In your testimony, you talked about creating a DEIA data working group about hiring practices and a dedicated DEIA core precept. And your testimony is you didn't know that this discrimination was happening. My staff can transmit to you the exact header and the details of this email.
Okay.
But I have to say, Ambassador, I find it a little bit amazing that this discrimination is being reported to be ongoing in the administration and you are professing to be unaware of it. I'm reminded from a line from the movie Office Space. What would you say you do around here? What is your job if not to stop discrimination? And unfortunately, I believe what your job in practice is encouraging this discrimination. This is a manifestation. You just said a minute ago in testimony, your hiring and promotion in the State Department will depend on complying with the edicts from your office. Is it good for the State Department and good for the United States government to be actively discriminating based on disability, based on race, based on being straight white man, or based on not being the right religion? Is that good or bad?
Senator, as I'm looking at the email, it does appear to me, and my eyesight is not great, that people have reported comments. That's certain candidates.
So what it says is, unfortunately, over the past several months, a number of people have reported comments that certain candidates could not be hired because. Right. So these are employees at the State Department saying, we can't hire someone because, and here's what the email lists, they have a disability, they're white men, they're straight white men, or they're not of the right religion. Indeed.
And so I would say comments does not at all say it is indeed happening.
Comments from hiring people saying we can't hire them because of it.
Time of the senator has well.
The message detailed that specific applicants had physical limitations, were Caucasian males, were heterosexual Caucasian men, or did not practice an acceptable faith. She claimed that mere remarks did not prove unequal practices were actually occurring, even with statements from recruiters insisting they could not employ those individuals accordingly. The senator ran out of time. Yet this is the reality the mainstream press refuses to report. Ambassador Abercrombie Winstanley took office in April of 2021 to serve as the inaugural independent head of inclusion for the State Department. Her primary responsibility and sole focus involved preventing any biased practices during the recruitment and advancement processes within the agency. Cruz presented a correspondence demonstrating that the exact reverse situation was unfolding, which she had never previously reviewed. Regarding the initial message, the agency released its fairness strategy exactly 12 months after she assumed her leadership role. A few days following that release, a high-ranking agency executive forwarded a memo that circulated widely among the staff. Cruz recited the text verbatim, noting that specific applicants were disqualified due to physical conditions, being Caucasian males, being heterosexual Caucasian men, or lacking the preferred religious beliefs. Cruz posed a single inquiry regarding whether she had explicitly approved this official directive. She responded by stating she had never laid eyes on that specific correspondence before. Cruz verified that despite her year-long tenure, unprecedented control over employment protocols, formation of a dedicated data committee, and establishment of fundamental inclusion principles, nobody had shown her the document. She acknowledged his statement and admitted this was her initial time viewing the material. Moving to the second point regarding absolute certainty, Cruz presented the logical next question about her awareness of these ongoing procedures at the agency. She replied with absolute assurance, declaring firmly that she was totally convinced such activities were not taking place. Cruz halted her testimony right away, noting that she just claimed ignorance of the memo while remaining convinced the described prejudice was not occurring. He questioned how she could possess absolute confidence regarding a situation she was completely unaware of just 5 minutes prior. The ambassador failed to provide any response. Addressing the third issue of inconsistency, she retreated from her initial stance under pressure, claiming the agency was definitely not violating regulations openly, Cruz highlighted the true definition of that phrasing, explaining that lacking outward visibility simply implies the actions occur while being actively concealed. She subsequently admitted that certain individuals within the organization actually do engage in biased behavior, harassment, and bullying. Therefore, within a 2-minute window before the entire Senate chamber, her testimony shifted from guaranteeing fairness to acknowledging the presence of prejudiced staff members. Highlighting the fourth issue regarding conversational remarks, she reviewed the physical document and presented her ultimate justification. She argued that referencing conversational remarks about rejecting specific candidates did not equate to those rejections actually taking place in practice. Cruz reviewed the text aloud once more, emphasizing that these agency professionals explicitly refused to recruit individuals based on physical limitations, being Caucasian males, being heterosexual Caucasian men, or practicing unapproved faiths. He then provided the conclusive remark of the session, questioning her actual daily contributions since her practical role appeared to actively promote those biased practices. The executive recruited to eliminate prejudice had never reviewed the memo proving its existence, guaranteed its absence, confessed to staff bias, and ultimately dismissed the proof as mere conversation. Decide for yourself whether this official truly functions as a dedicated guardian for the American labor force. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video.